Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M10 RBFM. It's the Tier 5 French premium turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Mountain Pass, and it's under the command of SlyMeerkat of HAKOO. Alongside him in the AMX CLC biz is his normal platoon mate, Owen Enraged in the AMX CLC. Now, you may notice there's no sound from the engines. Yes, unfortunately, Wargaming had a bit of a hiccup around about that time, and they put out a load of the clients which wouldn't do the replays. They wouldn't process the replays with sound. Now, normally we cure that by resetting the game and starting from the start. But if you try this on this version of the client, it goes into full reset and puts the titles up, and you can't see the game. So we're actually going to record this replay without any sound of the engines, but you can hear the sound of the guns, and you can hear the announcements from the vehicles. Okay, it's a 3-inch main gun, which is 76mm in caliber, 115 alpha, 130mm pen with standard rounds. With the premium rounds, that goes up to 170mm. He's found another M10 RBFM at the other end of the Bridge Road. He doesn't need to use premium ammo on that one. He only needs to use standard ammo, and he's knocked the tree down to give himself a bit more room so he can actually shoot. But the M10 at the other end might decide to fire into that bush and see if there's anything in it. If I was in the other M10, I'd do exactly the same. But he hasn't tried so far, which is good. But if we do pop out, he will almost certainly try to put holes in us. Now, the RBFM means Regiment Blind de Fusiliers Marine, and that means it's the regiment of tanks for these sea soldiers. And yes, these were Marines, French Marines, and they were given a whole bunch of these. In fact, the French only got 36 vehicles, but all of them had naval gun sights, so they could do indirect fire support if they needed to. They served with the French between 1943 and 1944. Now, the M10, they built 6,406 of those. It had a crew of 5, a 3-inch gun, and was designed for the tank destroyer force. It wasn't designed for the army as such. Well, it is the US Army, but it was for the tank destroyer force, the people who are going to be going around destroying enemy tanks when they were called on to do so by the tank force. Now, the M10A1, which was also made about the same time, the Americans built 1,403 of those, and here comes the M10 he's shooting. He doesn't know we're here. He's trying to go for the track shot. See if he can get him tracked. He's punching holes through him, and he's got the kill. The enemy did try to fire back, but they couldn't get the shots. But he spotted that guy very, very late indeed. He's decided to turn around and head back in the other way. Leave it to the 2801 with the 105mm gun. Now, they actually made 1,403 of the M10A1, and 724 of those were converted into M36s by having the Jackson turret fitted onto it, or the slugger as they called it, and they had the 90mm gun, which meant, of course, that they had much more power. And the M10 was the preferred tank by a lot of tank destroyer force. They thought it was better than the Hellcat. Of course, it wasn't quite as fast as the Hellcat. This thing will only do 48 kilometers an hour, which isn't very fast. It's based on the hull of the M10. Based on the hull of the M4, rather, I should say. But very, very light on armor. They didn't put all the armor they put onto the M4. Now, the enemy is making a concerted attempt to come up this way. They're coming up the ice road, and so we're going to try and defend against them. You can see that Owen Enraged has gone up high. We were spotted, but the enemy hasn't tried to hit us yet. The guerrilla's gone into a defensive position, so he can do well from there. He just needs people to spot for him, and we've got the IKV and the BK doing that. And now this is where SlyMeerkat can really go to town on these guys and punch lots of holes in them. Gorilla's moving up, actually. He's confident. Now, who is the gorilla player on this team? Well, they've got two of them, actually. I don't recognize the names, but apparently they are... Oh, they know what they're doing. And the enemy is coming in from the other direction as well. So we're 2 tanks down on the enemy. We haven't been doing well. But look at this. He's punching holes in that Nashorn. That Nashorn's really suffering. And he's about to have to put holes in these guys as well. Starting going after the AMX-12 ton. He'll easily pen that guy. Only gets 1 shot in that pens. Can't see the other ones down there at the moment. Oh, now he can. The BDR's popping up. Don't go too far back. You might fall off the cliff. Punches a lovely hole. 1 more shot to kill the BDR. Oh, ricochets off. Go for the engine. Oh, he got the body of the tank instead. Now he's going to go these guys. I go the Hellcat first. Hellcat's only got 1 shot. He's gone. MX-12 ton. Nice tracking shot. And 1 more to kill. That's his 4th kill. The enemy didn't cap for very long. It was only the MX-12 ton who got into the cap. And now it's 3 versus 4. We've got Jagdpanzer 4 on this side. There he is. And the enemy... Oh, Gorilla just got killed by him. We're now tearing him apart. He made a big mistake there. And... Oh, we've lost sight of him. He's actually behind the ARL. There he is. He came down to get below, but Omen Enraged is on top of him. And he takes him out. We pump a hole into the Nashorn. 1 more to take him down for 1 shot. Now he's a 1 shot. And it's a blind shot. Didn't get it. There he is. Oh, lovely. Takes him out. And that means now there's only 2 enemies left. The Arty. Now, which way is he going to go? Well, Omen Enraged. Oh! Omen Enraged just got nuked by the enemy gorilla. Which kind of makes me think that the enemy Arty's not going to go down the ice road. I think they're going to come across the flat route. Arty tends to go across the flat route for a good reason. They don't have much horsepower and they need a flat route in order to keep up the speed. Now, I can't tell you what's going on with the time at the moment. All I can tell you, it's 2 against 1. And that means the Arty, which are both gorillas, do have the advantage because they've both got 15cm howitzers, whereas SlyMeerkat has only got his 3-inch gun. But of course, his 3-inch gun will fire much faster. 2.97 seconds is the standard reload. And I'm pretty sure that SlyMeerkat has a much better reload than that. If he does meet the gorilla, oh, he does! First shot goes off. He derps his load and unfortunately fails. And he goes down. So 3 shots to kill a gorilla. He got all 3 shots through the weak gun shield at the front. And he's got his second to last. That's his top gun. So there's only 1 enemy left. A gorilla, just like that guy. Now, has he stayed behind at the cap area? More than likely. But if he does try to come to our cap, then I think Sly should be able to turn around and head back and deal with him. The best thing that the gorilla can do is wait in ambush and try and hit him and then try and maneuver. So if I was him, I would actually be looking up on the ledge, looking over the ledge at the enemy to see when he goes past, and then try and shotgun him and then back off to reload and try and get another hit. He can take him out with 1 shot, the gorilla, but it's very difficult. So where are you? Is he in the trees? No. Sixth Sense hasn't gone off. He must be on the move. Well, we're into the cap area first. The enemy hasn't started capping. If he does fire a shell in, we'll know where he is from the direction of fire. The question is, will he try to do that? Or will he just take take his loss and stay alive? You see, if I was up there on those bushes, I would have seen the M10 come into the cap area, I would have got a proximity spot. Oh, we know where he is, but he tried the most obvious place, and he's not there. He's actually in the south. I'd say he's around about there. Around about there, about the gap. That's where it looks like to me. So he didn't get to the cap in time. He actually went the west route, whereas Sly did the bridge road. And so he got it wrong. He'll have one more try. And then I'm afraid he'll have to accept defeat, because Sly is definitely going to cap out. He could try crossing the bowl, but I don't think he'll get here in time. I just don't think he has enough time left. And if he did turn up at the cap, he's more than likely going to go down. Oh, he is much closer. He did go across the bowl. And yes, people think they know where he is. He's actually in the bowl now, I think. That shot was from the bowl. And he's got it wrong. And that's the game. Base captured. Sly wins. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game from SlyMeerkat in the M10 RBFM. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. An invader medal because he capped out alone and won by capping. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall, and he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he did get 6 exactly, but the last gorilla he couldn't find, so therefore he couldn't get a 100% kill of all the enemy players. This game took place in March of 22. Yes, it was 2 years it's been waiting to be done. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see the highest damage was 2,607 hit points. That went to Sly. The next highest damage in the game actually went to the Nashorn on the enemy team, 1,703. And the third highest damage went to Women in Range, his platoon mate, with 1,564. When it came to kills, Sly gets that one too. 6 kills to him. 3 kills went to Women in Range and also to the Nashorn. And when it came to base XP, yep, he's got that one too. So Sly gets the top in all 3 columns. 1,449 went to Sly, 805 went to Women in Range, and 705 went to the Churchill 3 on the enemy team. So he did very, very well, considering he managed to do that on a losing game. But he still didn't get a huge amount of damage. So he must have been hitting high tier opponents every time he was shooting, maybe hitting all the tier 6s. Anyway, let's have a look at the results on the detail. 34 shots fired, 27 direct hits on the enemy, 25 penetrations, 2,607 hit points of damage, of which 363 were at more than 300 meters. So he was firing long range, but not that much. It was mostly when he was shooting near the cap in those trees, fending off the enemy. And he did fend a lot of them off, but it was thanks to Women in Range, actually, that they were getting those shots on the enemy, because he was spotting them to keep them lit so that Women in Range, so Sly could then get the damage. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 6. The one he spotted, by the way, was Gorilla. 37 hit points due to players' assistance. And he got 100 cap points and 6 defense points when he reset the AMX 12 ton. On a premium count, he actually made 37,471 credits per game. And also 5,544 experience points out of it as well. So it was generally a win all round, and it was a good result. The M10 RBFM is one of the favourite tank destroyers of a lot of people, actually, because it is so effective. It's very OP at this tier, and I think a lot of people are very pleased that they got one of these if they actually took part in the mini marathon, where you can actually get one. I think it was for free, actually, a while back. But yes, it is a very good tank destroyer. It's worth playing every now and then, just to remind you how good these tanks can be at tier 5. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.